All right, great selling Saturday. Everyone says Mascoro Jr. in with Manufactured Home Sales Mastery and our 15 minutes to mastery that we do each and every day to get your day started off on the right foot with some information, inspiration, motivation to get you going for the day. And today is Selling Saturday. Today is all about the sale. And we're halfway through the month of July. So I hope your month is going well. I hope you're finishing off the week strong with a appointment filled Selling Saturday. And today I want to talk to you about what exactly you could do in the manufactured home industry. And I'm not talking about just a little bit of change. Like the screen says, you can change your position in life. You can change your stars in life. You can change your however you want to describe it. This industry is one that can take you and your family to a whole new height, as long as you're willing to put in the work that it takes to make it happen. Okay. So as we do just about 99.9% of the times, we have a quote here. And today's quote comes from Vidal Sassoon, which says, the only place where success comes before work is in the dictionary. The only place where success comes before work is in the dictionary. This past week, I was in Tyler, Texas. I'm back home, as you can tell, the home office here in San Antonio, just outside San Antonio. And so this past week I was in Tyler, Texas, talking to the group there about what it takes for us to get to the next level there. You know, we've really made huge strides, huge improvements. And these past 3 or 4 months, we've been upwards of 300% increase in their business since when we got started with our consulting work that we do there every month. So, but we're still trying to, we're not that we're trying, we're going to get more, right? But it takes a certain mindset. And that mindset is understanding this one thing: the work has to come before the belief. If you're brand new into this industry, and when I say brand new, I'm talking about you're within 6 to 12 months of when you started. The majority of the housing consultants who are within 6 to 12 months from when they started have not truly hit a full stride, just because of the way things operate in this industry and the way things operate as far as the preparation that goes into it. But that's totally different point from what we're talking about today. So what I want to let you guys know is that the work has to be done before you see the outcome. You can't expect that on day one you're going to get started and everything is going to go your way, and that from you start day one and the next thing you know, that Friday you're getting paid tons of money. That's not the way it works in this business. The work has to be done before the belief. But I want to tell you this though: if you actually get in, put in the work daily, if you surrender yourself to the process and you put in the work daily with that belief already in mind, okay, you're going to see a huge outcome. And I want to get into this on a personal level, okay? Because a lot of times you'll hear me, you'll hear so many people out there speaking about how success this and success that, and all you got to do is put in the work, and that's all great because it's true. It's true. Okay. However, a lot of times housing consultants, community manager, whatever your position may be within the industry, a lot of times we come into the industry, and I say we because I'm going to share with you how it was for me. A lot of times we come into the industry and we either one, haven't experienced huge wins. We've never been in a position where you can make $150,000, $200,000, $300,000 a year, right? Although in my life prior to getting into the industry, I had already experienced that. But for a lot of housing consultants out there, it's not the case. So one, it's hard to see that. You want to believe it. You want to get it. It's exciting to think about that. but you don't understand what it takes to be able to get it done, right? And then a lot of times you're already in a bind, in a position. So when it's starting to take a while to get some money going, it gets frustrating, you get stressed out, and on and on, right? So I want to share some insight as far as how it was for me and how it's been for me. Okay. When I got into this industry back in 2009, I'm going to tell you, I'd lost everything already by that time. I was in the site built world prior to that for, I don't know, 15 years. Yeah, about 15 years before, 15, 16 years before getting into manufactured homes. And obviously, '08 happened, market crashed. I lost everything. Had to shut down my doors as far as for the business that I had at that point in time. We were designing, building homes. Shut down, let everybody go, shut down, and ended up getting into manufactured homes. When I started in this industry, a lot of you don't know this. I've shared this before. I was living out of my car. I spent the first 2.5, 3 months of my career, I would sleep in the office. They didn't know that. They didn't know that. I would sleep in the office. I had a membership to a Planet Fitness down the highway from our location. I would go there. I would change. I would shower and change and everything there. The first 2.5 months that I was in this business. Okay. Had 2 kids from a previous marriage that I still had to provide for, all that. And you want to talk about stress? There was stress galore. There's problems galore. But I put in work, put my head down, not knowing what the heck I was doing. First time in this industry, not knowing if it was really a thing, right? But I put my head down because I had nothing else, no other choice, and I just went after it. And things changed completely for me there. Ended up at that place for that company where I made well over 6 figures. I was there for almost 7, 8 years, whatever it was, okay, and made great money as I built a career there. And then in 2015, decided to make the move from that independent dealership to a corporate dealership, right? You guys know that the last 7+ years I was at Titan Factory Direct. In 2017, I had to have surgery to get a tumor removed from my carotid artery. Okay. And at that point in time, now it's not just me. Now I'm married, remarried. We have 2 children, with 3 children still at home. And again, lose everything. Most people don't know that. But while I was at Titan, I lost everything again. Okay. And this time it wasn't just me. This time it was with family, right? House, cars, everything. Got healed up from this thing, built it all back up again. Built it all back up again to the point where when I resigned from Titan last April, my last full year in the industry was almost $750,000 in income. I don't say that to brag. I'm just telling you, you can change your life in this industry. But there's going to be struggles. There's going to be problems. You're going to go through things. And there's no one out there that has been through more. Okay. When I first started, had nothing on my own, nothing, living in the office. Happened again in 2017. Lost everything. This time with family. With family. And now starting Manufactured Home Sales Mastery in April of last year. Let's go, baby, right? We've been on the brink so many times. We've had to give up so much, but have built back up. Have built back up because we're committed to doing what it takes to be able to make it happen. And all I'm telling you is this industry, thanks to this industry, my life has changed. My family's life has changed several times over and rebuilt. And we're on our way again to doing things. Don't get me wrong. We're still a week or 2 at any point in time of just being dead broke. Right? Because we own a business now and we're building it from scratch. Nothing like this has existed in this industry. But all I'm telling you is that The work has to come before the belief. You have to pour in, and you have to put in the work. You have to do the things that you need to do in order to be able to accomplish what you're after. Okay. That if I wanted to, if I wanted to say, you guys have to make me believe 110%, which is what most people want to do, right? How can you guarantee me? There are no guarantees. There are no guarantees. That's why I always describe it as an opportunity, because everyone else who started with me at the same time who did not make it had the same opportunity I did. And with less resources, they had their homes, they had their families, they had whatever it was. 2 times, lost everything, rebuilt it. This time, starting this on this side of the business now, still within the industry, but now we're starting a business that services the manufactured home industry. We've had to make some sacrifices. We had to cut back on things. We've had to everything, but it's well worth it, because there is so much that you can do within this industry. There's so much that you can accomplish for yourself, for your family, for your community, for everyone and anyone that you truly want to bless, help, and make their lives better. But it takes putting in the work before the belief. That means that there's going to be times you're going to doubt. There's going to be times that you're going to feel that this thing doesn't work. There's going to be times where your pipeline's going to fall apart. There's going to be times where you are just going to be, if I had hair, I'd be pulling out my hair, right? I pull out my, but there's going to be those moments. But just understand, if you put in the work, and you can't pick and choose what work you're going to put in. You have to put in all the work that is required to make it happen. But if you do that, this industry, this career is completely life-changing. Most people do not understand the financial capacity of this industry, what you can make happen for yourself within this industry. They drive by us. I tell it all the time. People drive by a manufactured home retailer's lot, and most of them do not even stop to think that, wow, those people in there, they make a lot of money. And the great thing about it is you do it by helping other families. You're helping families accomplish what they're needing. You're changing their lives, and at the same time, it's changing yours. It's a win-win. It's really win-win-win, because they win, you win, the company wins. But it takes putting in the work before the belief. So what can you do? What can you do, or what do you need to do in order to make the most out of this opportunity? All right, we're going to run through that, because I'm going to tell you what it takes. I'm here to tell you right now what it takes to make this thing work, because I have done it. None of you out there, unless you were dead and came back to life, have been in a lower place than I have within this industry. Having started the way that I had to start it out. Having gone through what I had to go through almost 8 years after having been in the industry, going through it again. And now as starting Manufactured Home Sales Mastery, but it's all with the just putting in the work. So here's what it takes. Here's what it took for me to be able to take my life, my business, and my career to a whole new level 3 times over. And every time has been even better. So check this out. First and foremost, you're going to have to surrender yourself to the process. Your way does not work. Your way of making the calls, your way of talking to customers, it doesn't work. Whatever you think that you're going to bring in from wherever you were at, no. Because you have to truly care. You have to truly take the time to be able to do the things that need to get done. You have to commit to making 100 calls a day if that's what it's going to take. You're not going to just sit and pick and choose who you're going to talk to, especially when you're just starting out. I'm sorry, it's not going to happen. You might as well just turn in your keys to the house, just go up to your GM and say, hey, you know what? This is just not going to work, because I'm not willing to put in the work. Because the industry works. I'm here to tell you, I've done it 3 times over. So you've got to surrender yourself to the process. If you don't know what the process is, that's where you need to reach out to us. Like that's my pitch, right? For Manufactured Home Sales Mastery. For those of you out there that are retailers, communities, general managers, upper management, and you're trying to help your folks out, there's got to be a process to it. Come get with us, and I'll tell you, we'll work with you on that. If you're a housing consultant, community manager, reach out to us. We'll work with you on that. But you've got to surrender yourself to the process. And what does that mean? It's going to take massive amounts of calls and more calls. You can't get away from it. All right. You cannot get away from it. If you're sitting in your office and you have no deals, no customers, and it's quiet in your office, there's a problem. There's a problem. You're going to starve. You're going to struggle, and you're going to keep telling yourself, this doesn't work. All this business it's a scam. All the man kicking your tomato can, just feeling sorry for yourself. Well, get over it, because it's you, because the business does work, and there's people out there every day that need you. You just got to put in the phone calls. You got to make the calls. You got to handle the leads that come to you the right way. You get people that reach out to you on Facebook and inquire about marketing that you're doing, and you better be doing your marketing consistently every day, 3 ads a day, right? You know who I'm talking to. Every day, 3 ads a day, and then you share, and then you respond to them the way that you're supposed to. Okay? If you think you're going to make it happen your way, you're going to struggle. I'm telling you that right now. But you've got to commit to the marketing. You got to commit to working the leads. You got to commit to the phone calls. You've got to commit to the phone calls every day. Every day. Did I say every day? Every day. All right. That's what it took for me to pull myself out from living in the office, having to go down the road to a gym, to Planet Fitness, to shower, kind of workout, right? Back then. Oh, yeah. Okay. And then take a shower, get ready to get back to the office. And then committed to making the calls because I had nothing else to do. And I was damned if I wasn't gonna make this work. So you got to commit to the calls and more calls. And you have to, the reason that we're making the phone calls, why? Because you have to sit in front of as many people as you possibly can. You can't pick and choose. Oh, I want to make sure that they're committed. I want to make sure that they qualify. Look, you're not at that point yet. If your pipeline isn't 15, 20 deep, and you got deals closing consistently every week, every other week, you are not at the point in your career where you can pick and choose who you sit in front of you. I'm sorry. I'm here to tell you, you need the reps. You need the reps. You need to have people in front of you. You need to get the practice, because that practice is going to make you more confident. It's going to help you get better. And now you're going to get better on the phones because you're making more calls. So you get better on the phones. And when you get better on the phones, you've got more people in front of you. And when you got more people in front of you, that gets better. But when you're not making the calls and you don't have people in front of you, and then you have 1 or 2 people that you sit with, maybe, depending on the location, your presentation never gets better. So you never make a connection. You just can't have that influence because you don't have the reps. So you need to sit in front of as many people as you possibly can. Right? So I go back to the top. You got to surrender to the process. What's the process? Making your marketing daily, sharing the ads, addressing those leads, those inquiries the proper way, so that you can make as many calls as you possibly can each and every day, so that you can sit in front of as many people as you possibly can. That's part of the process, right? And now as we go along, the next thing you got to learn daily as you go along, but you have to be intentional with this. You have to continue to learn. Just because you went through some training course, right? Whether it was ours or anybody else, does not make you a professional housing consultant. We've given you the basis. We've given you the foundation. That's why with our program, we continue on with the 90-day follow-up and support after that, because we know there's more needed. And really, it's something that you never stop learning. I was doing what you do. I was sitting in the sales office for 14 plus years, almost 15 years. And every day I was learning something about the industry, because I needed to make sure that I was always maximizing the opportunity. So you've got to learn daily as you go along. Don't you? Well, I want to know everything about the finance before I really get into it. No, sorry, that's not going to happen. You learn the financing as you go along. You learn the construction as you go along. You have to, as I said at the beginning, it starts with surrendering to the process. So it starts with start marketing consistently every day. Every day, 3 ads a day. Get out there and make that happen. Share those ads, get the leads, make the calls, get the people in front of you while you're learning. You have to be intentional with this. every day. You learn every day. Well, I do that. I learn. Man, if you were doing that and you've been in this business several months, we should be able to see the progress. All right. But it takes learning every day. I'm just sharing with you what it took for me to be able to do what I did within the industry for myself, for my family, pull myself out of the situations that I was in financially the first time when I first got into it, and back in 2017. And even now in building this company, I've applied those same principles into building this business and taking it to where it is now and where we're still going. All right. And the fifth thing you got to do is it's going to take massive amounts of work. It just is. It just is. I'm going to tell you, look, I'm here to tell you there is no balance. There isn't. Especially if you're in a situation, if you're in a financial situation that needs to be resolved, there is no balance. I had a previous boss who once said, look, nobody wants your butt at home broke. I need to spend time with my family. They don't want you home broke. Right? And I say that with all the love in my heart. You've got to put in the work. It's going to be a set. Now, nobody's saying it's a full day every day, 7 days a week, right? Sundays, you can work a couple hours. If anything, at least take Sunday to prepare for the week. Spend a couple of hours preparing, really analyzing what worked, what didn't work, who did I talk to, who am I going to attack Monday morning as soon as I get in because I spoke to them and I know they're on the fence and I just need that little thing. That's got to happen Monday morning. But it's not going to happen Monday morning if you don't plan it out on Sunday and you don't plan out what you're going to say and how you're going to say it. What's the angle you're going to take? Not just, hey, have you guys made a decision? That's not going to make it happen. So it's massive amounts of work. It's going to take that to make this the greatest thing to happen to you in your life, because I am here to tell you it is. It is. Is there people that have been more successful than me? Yes, there are. There's a whole bunch of people that are more successful than me that have been in this industry. I'm just sharing with you what it takes. I'm here to help you, to take you to that next level. We're doing this together. But I'm sharing with you what it's going to take. If you're down here right now, if you're struggling, and even if you're on top, man, there's always more that you can do. There's always more that you can do. I run across housing consultants all the time. Man, there's never enough. Man, why does it? Because there's always more that you can do. It can fall apart on you like that. For those of you that experienced it, you know what I'm talking about. I'm just sharing with you. If you're struggling, if you financially have issues going on, this is the industry you need to be. And yes, but it's going to take some time. But imagine this, okay? Imagine this. We're telling you, man, at least 60 to 90 days before you start seeing a little bit of money. And I'm basing that on if you dove in with the same intention that I did, which was every day making 100 plus calls a day. And I'm not kidding you, man. It was 100 plus calls a day. When I lost everything back in 2017, the same thing, 100 plus calls, videos all the time, marketing, just everything, sitting in front of anybody and anybody that I could sit in front of. So if you're not doing that, it's going to take you even longer. And you could say, well, heck, man, I'm just going to stop. Why am I going to put myself through all of that? Because if you don't do that, if you don't put yourself through this, if you don't put in the work and you don't make this the opportunity that can be for you, you're going to stay where you're at, which is the reason why you're here in the first place. You decided to get into manufactured homes because you wanted to change something. You didn't just go from, I am fantastic over here, but I'm going to go sell manufactured homes because I don't need the change. If you don't make the change, you don't make this work, nothing changes. Whatever drove you to decide to get it to this is going to stay the same. You're going to stay in that same financial struggle. You're going to stay in that same just, you know what I'm talking about. and do not mistaken my tone right now with anger or condescension and nothing like that. It's strictly passion, belief, and true appreciation for each and every one of you, because I want to see each and every one of you succeed to the maximum ability, to the maximum potential that this industry has for you. Not to your ability, to the ability of the industry, to the potential of the industry. Because you have to build your potential within the industry. It's there. You can do it. You can do fantastic friggin' things in this industry. I'm telling you, I came in with nothing in 2009, sleeping on the couch in the office, showering at a gym for the first couple months before I was able to get a house, rent a house that I could move into, get a vehicle that actually that was worth having, and build up from there. Lost it all again in 2017 after having to have surgery for a tumor. Rebuilt that to where when I left the industry in 2023, last April, okay, almost $750,000 in income. Again, not to brag, but to tell you, show you, and help you understand what you can do with this industry, what it can do for you. But it's going to take those things that I just mentioned to you. Surrender the process, do your marketing daily, share the ads, handle those leads correctly, be committed to making massive amounts of phone calls, 100+ calls a day. 10 calls a day is not going to cut it, especially if you're just starting out in this business. I'm telling you right now. It's going to take massive amounts of phone calls, and it's going to take sitting in front of as many people as you possibly can each and every day, every week, every month. And it's going to take so much work, but you got to learn every day. You got to be committed to learning and improving, getting better every day. It's every day. Everything is every day. Marketing, handling needs, phone calls, sitting in front of people, and massive amount of work and learning. And by the way, man, we're going on 30 minutes with this 15 minutes of mastery, but it's a very, very important subject to me, because the only reason why I walked away from $750,000 a year for my family and I was to be able to come and help each and every one of you accomplish the same thing. Is everybody going to get to that? I'm not telling you that everyone's going to get, but the potential is there. Some of you are going to make way more than that. And that's great. I love it. But it's never going to happen if you don't put in this work. It's never going to happen if you don't put in this work. Wow, Cesar, I don't need to make 300. I don't need to make $750,000. Okay. But you also shouldn't just be shooting for 70 or 80, because all you're going to do is you think you're putting in the work to at least just make 70 or 80, but you're not even putting in the work for that. It's got to be every day. Every day. And once you build it and it's happening and you're confident, you've grown, and now it's a business that you can run. Now you're not having to exert yourself as much, because now you're better at the marketing, you're better at the phones, you're better at your process, you're better at getting deals closed. But at the beginning, you're building a business. And I'll let you in a little bonus. All right. I'm going to let you in a little bonus for those of you that are still watching. All right. Check this out. What is the chip on your shoulder? You need to have a chip on your shoulder. You need to figure out what is it that is going to drive you. And I'm talking about chip on your shoulder. I'm not talking about your why. Okay. I'm not talking about your why back here, which everybody wants to say is their family. Everybody wants to say, okay, what is your chip on your shoulder? And you've got to harness that. You've got to hold on to that. And you've got to let that drive you. When I left the first place that I was at, when I went and resigned there, because I was at the point where I needed to do something, challenge myself more, right? Yeah, I also had messed some stuff up. I made some bad decisions along the way. I did some things I shouldn't be doing, man. I'm just sharing. We're putting it all out there right now, right? Am I perfect? Heck no. But because of the struggles that I've been through, that's why I want to help you avoid those struggles. And that's why I've decided to start this company, get out across the country to help as many people as possible. All right. But when I left there, the owner of that company said, where are you going to go? What are you going to do? Where are you going to go that you're going to make, $200,000 plus? I don't know. I don't know where I'm going to end up and how that's going to happen, because up until then, I'd never made that much in my life before. So was there doubt? Heck yes. Ended up at Titan Factory, right? Tripled that. And then, but I used that challenge. You'll be back, is what I was told. You'll be back. I'm like, yeah, okay. For those of you that don't know me, you challenge me. it's anyway. I'll just smile. But hey, I learned a whole bunch while I was there. I don't hate anybody there. I'm nothing of that sort. I mean, it was great. Got my family to where we were at that point, and it was just that bridge right to the next phase. And then when I decided when I resigned from Titan Factory Direct last April, I got the same thing. You know that you're not going to make the same amount of money. You know, you're going to start a training company. Who's going to want to pay for training? Who's going to want to hire you? I'm like, I was good enough to run your teams, right? I understand where it's coming from. Again, no harm. No, I'm not pissed off at anybody, but it was a challenge. It's a chip on my shoulder. It's that thing that pushes me through each and every day. And believe me, at the beginning, after the first 6 months, I was like, oh shoot, is this really going to happen? Because I can't go back with the tail between my legs. Okay. And that's what most people do, right? It gets hard and things get rough, and they decide to go back because they're not going to pull it through, because they don't use that chip on their shoulder to help pull them through. Because I look at those folks and I love them all to death, but there's no way that I can fall on my face. I've fallen on my face along the process of the 15 months, but I get myself back up, dust myself off, and keep moving. And thanks to the glory of God. Thanks to God for looking out for us and providing for us. And we've built this thing, man, and we're going. Because it takes having that chip on your shoulder. So thank you. Thank you to all of you that have provided that little extra incentive, that little extra push to help me go in and make things work. And I know each and every one of you have that in you. Each and every one of you have that potential. You all have the same ability to be able to make it happen. You just need to be committed. And this industry, this career can change your position in life, yours, your family's, your community. Think about it. All right. I started nothing, living on the couch of a sales office, showering in a gym, and from there built this career into something that right before I left in April of 2023, I made almost $750,000 a year. And man, I didn't do it pretty. I know there was a lot more I could do now, especially now on this side, being really building something that I want to, that the intention is to build huge and nationwide, and just really going after it. the work ethic that I have to have here. Now I know, man, I didn't even do half of what I could have even done there. So to a certain extent, my boss at the time was right. Man, I even told him, dude, I texted him one day. It's like, hey, I apologize for being an idiot while I was there and not maximizing my opportunity, not going all out. I understand now what it takes to make it happen. That's what I should have been doing. And I apologize because I know that I let you down, not from in retrospect. Although I know that I busted my butt, but I could have, there was so much more I could have done. And folks, the great thing about it is you could do it for yourself. You could do it for yourself and not have to take on the challenge of, hey man, you got to bankroll it all. You got to make sure that if there's no business, you don't eat. Okay. You don't have to put yourself through that. All you got to do is maximize the opportunity. And now with what we're doing, now our goals are even that much bigger. A national company that's going to we're going to establish a community center for underprivileged youth here in San Antonio first, and then take it across the country. So that's why I say, not only are you changing your life, but you're changing the people, the lives of your family, your community. There's so much you can do. Your vision just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger, as long as you're that kind of person. But you don't have to be, but at least maximize the opportunity. Surrender to the process. Put in the work daily. Understand it's going to take massive amounts of phone calls and a whole bunch of people sitting in front of you daily to get this thing right. I hope that this message has served you. As I told you at the beginning, and I've told you throughout, this is a labor of love because we want to see each and every one of you maximize your opportunity within this industry. And up until now, there hasn't been anyone that really comes out to make that happen for you. And that's what we're doing here at Manufactured Home Sales Mastery. So if there's anything that we can do to help you in your career, if there's anything that we can do to help your teams, which I know that there is, but if you're starting to realize that, I invite you to reach out to us. We're growing. All right. We've got more people within the team that are behind the scenes that you'll start meeting pretty soon. Right. But we appreciate each and every one of you. And I want to make sure that you have a great selling Saturday today, because today is all about the sales. Go out and help as many families as possible. Make things happen. It's the 13th of July, halfway through the month, and you can make great things happen. All right, guys, until tomorrow, we'll be back in here with another 15 minutes to mastery. All right, you guys go out and kill it today. And as always, I can't wait to meet you.